I'm recording this video for the York County Library of South Carolina. Hi there, I'm Lisa Lilienthal and we're going to do some Yin Yoga today. So what you will need, I would definitely have water handy. You can have music or with you, set up your music if you like. I like a bolster for yin is really great. If you don't have a bolster, couch cushion, pillow, folded up towels, blankets, whatnot. A strap, a yoga strap if you don't have a yoga strap, a belt, scarf, that'll do. Blocks, 2 blocks is ideal, but again, you can make do with, I've seen people use dictionaries, so whatever works for you. All right, second of all, any injuries you're working with, modify, okay? If something hurts you, if something pinches, gives you a sharp shooting pain, feels numb, just your body saying stop, stop, listen to it, yeah? Other than that, let's dive into some yin. Yin is traditionally, the poses are held anywhere from 90 seconds to 5 minutes, sometimes more. We're aiming for about 3 minutes in as we begin, and then we'll build, add another minute, and then another minute. And these are some real basic poses, and I'm going to talk about the modifications as we go through them. And so we will get started. All right, so I like to start out with a quick little warm-up. Just kind of waking the body up, getting centered. So take and put, and of course, Sukhasana, easy pose is the way I'm seated, but if there's a different seat for you that's comfortable, sitting with your back against the wall, on a chair, do that. You do you. All right, so your comfortable seated position, shoulders up, back, and down, hands resting on your knees or the ground or your thighs, depending on your position. And just let the head hang forward, but keep your shoulders up, down, and back, right? 5 deep breaths here, just focusing on the breath. Focusing on releasing stress. Releasing stress and tension in the mind, heart, body, and soul. You're going to take and add just the fingertips to the top back of your head, right? The elbows point down, but you still got your back engaged. You should feel a little deeper stretch. Your pressure could be 30%, it could be 50%, it could be 100%, whatever your neck is needing today, right now. 3 more deep breaths. We're going to add some dynamic movement. So as you inhale, you're opening your elbows, keeping your shoulders down, maybe glancing up. Your eyes can be closed the whole time if you like. You're keeping it in the neck, the cervical spine. So just like a baby bird's wings, you're opening and closing. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Give me 3 more. Your breath should be audible. You can even make a or a shh if you feel like it. Now we're going to add the whole spine. So this is like seated cats and cows. You're taking your elbows as close down to the ground as you can get. It should feel real good on the back. And then again, opening those little baby bird wings, rounding and opening. Exhale to close. Inhale as you open. Open that heart, open that chest. You should have 2 or 3 more. And remember, just whatever pace works for you. If I'm going faster than you normally breathe, don't feel like you have to match me. And then release. All right. So then we're going to take some circles. So circle it clockwise. Should be a nice massage on the low back, the glutes. And you can let your head hang or let your head, whatever feels good to you. Let it be organic. As you're coming back, that's your inhale. As you're coming forward, that's your exhale. The next time you hit 12 o'clock, reverse. I've got a bit of a squeaky floor here. One or two more circles. And then the next time you hit 12 o'clock, see if you can switch the cross of your legs. It usually feels awkward because we almost always cross one way unless you're doing a different pose. And then I just want you to collapse forward, let your head hang, let your back round for 5 deep breaths here. Easy does it. You're going to take and walk those hands to the right. It could be a teensy bit. It could be a lot. What I'm wanting you to feel and be aware of is that left side body stretching, right? You're getting a whole stretch on the back, right? And notice if the hip is coming up. I want you to push that hip, that left hip down to the ground. Let your head hang. Maybe it touches your knee, maybe not. No big deal. As long as you're feeling a stretch and doing your deep breathing, you are doing it right. One more deep breath. And then take it nice and slow. Piano walk those hands to the left. Should feel an entirely different stretch here. Again, let the head hang. And just as slow, we're coming back to center. And you're going to prong up your fingers, right? So your hands are like little spider legs, and I want you to push your wrists up as you're stretching out in front of you, and then grab at the ground. Deep cleansing breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth with sound. One vertebrae at a time, start to make your way up. Excellent. Switch that cross again. All right, we're going to dive right in to our half butterfly. So with your strap, you're going to take and kick your right leg straight out. Okay, from here, you're going to take that strap and you're going to wrap under the toes, under the ball of the foot. So the ball of the foot is right here, my ladies, when you're up in a high heel, right? You know what that is. So it's right under the toes, right? And then I want either hand on either side so they're in line with one another. So it's not, you know, like this or like this, right? You want to have your shoulders, shoulder lights shining forward, not turning facing the camera, right? Or your screen rather. So you're here, right? Your foot is flexed. This is an active stretch to start out, to warm up, wake up the body, wake up the legs. Most people's heels come off the ground in this stretch. You're leaning back, still shoulders engaged. I like to get another neck stretch here and let my chin hang. 3, 2, and 1. Now, you're walking those hands forward, but keep that shoulder engagement, right? Engaged, flat back, right? Keep that engagement on your foot. Some of you might grab your foot, that's fine, but I don't want you rounding and hunching to get to your foot, okay? 5 deep breaths here. Now we're going to collapse into our yin pose. So traditionally yin, everything lets go. It's like a rag doll. All right, I'm going to show some options with the props. I've got my phone so I can do my timer. I'm not texting people. So you want your head to make contact with something in yin poses. So some of you, if your head touches your leg, you're there already. Mine doesn't. When I'm here hanging forward, I can actively make it touch, but I have to, if it's hanging, I need a prop, okay? So your prop is right up against your leg or on your leg, not out farther. That's going to give you the deepest stretch. So either a block, a couple of blocks, a bolster, something. You can make a pillow with your hands, and you're going to settle on in. We're going to do 3 minutes on this one. And I'm going to talk to you as we're in it, but I'm also setting up that timer. Got my handy stopwatch here. So, you are in your yin pose. You are collapsed. You should feel that stretch in the left low back, left side body obliques. If it's too deep of a stretch, add another prop. Come up. The closer the blocks are to your body, the more you're kind of easing off. The farther away, the more intense it gets. You pick. Now, the thinking behind yin is having your head make contact with something, helps you settle down, helps you calm down. It sends that message to the central nervous system that it's safe to let go. Our body gets out of that fight or flight mode. The mind gets out of the fight or flight mode. There's no tiger to be running from or to defend yourself to. We're passing the halfway mark. If you notice you're feeling fidgety or your mind's wandering, just wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe turn your head side to side. Always going back to thinking about letting go. It's very hard to be still. And I'm saying that as a teacher as well. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and the mind wanders. So try not to control it, just acknowledge it. Be gentle, just like you would with a little hyper puppy or hyper kid. Just remind yourself it's just a few minutes, and go back to noticing what's going on with your body. 30 seconds left. You might notice that you're able to collapse a little deeper. You might want to come up a little bit. You're never locked in your pose. Before we come completely out, let's take an active stretch here. So again, if you're not grabbing your toes and don't feel like you have to, you can grab somewhere on the leg, flex that foot, and pull your head up, pull your shoulders down, one deep breath. And you're going to take, and we're going to work into what's known as a sundial pose. So from here, right, the right hand comes to the inside of the right leg or to the left hip. And I want that, as long as your shoulder's safe with it, your left arm up and over. Keep that shoulder engaged. Maybe you grab your toe, maybe the arm floats, maybe you use the strap. It's just 5 deep breaths here, but I want your shoulders stacked. 3, 2, 1 more, and make your way on up. Oof. All right, so from here, shake out your legs. All right, windshield wiper those knees side to side. If your low back's okay, you can stack your hips like so. Right? If not, just keep it right here. The feet can go wider. And we switch. We do the whole thing on the other side. So, one side might be tighter than the other. You might be working with an injury. You can also take and put a block or a pillow, if your hip's really tight, under that knee, right? Which is what I'm doing. And then we're wrapping. So activation stretch first. Yeah, shoulders up, back, and down. So remember, it's not like this, right? It's not like that. It's squared away. Up, back, and down. Strap at the ball of the foot. 5 deep breaths. Feel free to get that neck stretch again if you like. And then just as slow, you're making your way forward. Again, you're not grabbing your foot if your shoulders are up by your ears, right? I want that engagement maintained, right? Active. Ooh, I feel that in my back, behind the knee, the calf. One more deep breath. And then we collapse into our yin pose. So again, you pick what worked for you. Farther away, a little more intense, closer, a little dialed down. Use what you need to use. 3 minutes. Here we go, yogis. Collapse on down. I'm going to use the bolster because I like the bolster for this one. Deep breaths. Just notice, check in. Notice if one side's tighter than the other. And again, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Doesn't matter. This is awareness of what's going on with your body. If you're feeling restless, wiggle fingers and toes, twist your head side to side. But you want to aim to at least stay in the pose, the yin pose, for 90 seconds, if you can. Again, with that caveat of if something's excruciating, stop, for sure. You're past halfway, way past halfway. You're not in yoga jail. Nothing's ever locked, and you can stop and pause video, do whatever you need to do. Less than a minute to go. Doing great, yogis. You should feel like just a rag doll. Everything is completely passive, totally letting go. Do a little body scan like you're a carry-on bag at the airport. Notice where the tight spots are, where the tension is. Send your breath to places that are holding tightness and tension. Grab about 1 or 2 more deep breaths before we do our active. All right, active stretch again. You know, you can flex your foot and grab onto your leg, or you can grab, just try not to round and hunch. Deep breath. You got it. From here, the left hand comes to the inside of the left leg or to the right hip. Sundial, up and over. Maybe you grab your toe. Maybe you stack maybe you let your arm float, but you're definitely stacking those shoulders, right? So in other words, my arm is not in front of my face. You want it up and over. Feel that twist. You're going to get a major twist on the back completely, but that low right side obliques definitely. And if you've a modification, if you've got shoulder injuries, your hand can be right here. You're still stacking your shoulders. You're still getting a twist. And come on up. Oof. I feel better. All right, so I'm going sideways on this next one so you see the prep work. So we're going into our full butterfly. Feel free to windshield wiper again. We're going into our full butterfly this time. So and again, be mindful of, if something's bugging you, use a block under your knee, right? Or a blanket or something. If you're comfortable with them floating like that, because my knees do not touch the ground on butterfly, right? That's fine. Maybe you want something under, right? My feet are touching and opened up like a book. So the outer edges of the feet are open, right? From here, I'm walking my hips to my heels, heels to groin, as tight as can be comfortably to your edge. My hands are coming behind me. They're pronged up like little spiders, right? Shoulders up, down, and back. This is the activation pose. Should feel pretty good on that back, right? Let the head hang. I want you to actively pull your knees to the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, one more, and we're going to collapse. So some people can touch their head to their feet. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to take my bolster, I'm going to put it upright, and I'm going to collapse. You can also make a kickstand. You can make a kickstand with a rolled up yoga mat, right? We're going to do 3.5 minutes in this pose. You should be warmer. So here we go. So you are getting major hip openers here, right? The half butterfly, definitely hip opener, definitely stretching the groin. Now we got the back. We're getting the back on this one pretty big time. And of course, the more you collapse forward, the more of a back stretch you're getting. But it's not about striving. It's about finding your edge and then relaxing into it. Just breathe. Maybe have a little internal mantra, like on each exhale, you say let go. Or maybe you say healing or peace or whatever speaks to you, whatever first pops to your mind, or if you have a prayer or a mantra or a visualization or a color or a place. Let your mind go there when you find that it starts thinking about things you don't need to be thinking about right now. We've got 90 seconds left. If you get tighter, you can always take your feet a little farther away from you, or you can, take the props higher. That's up to you, or come up a little bit, or come completely out. Remember to take those deep breaths. Less than a minute to go, doing great. Just notice, try and be the witness, non-judgmental, objective. I know it sounds corny, but find your happy place. Last 30.
Again, always going back to focusing on your inhales and your exhales. And that monkey brain, that's what it feels like sometimes. Monkey brain starts mucking around in your head. Just gently bring it back to the present. All right, we're coming out, but we're going to do an active stretch before we come out. So I'm swinging around facing forward so you can see what I'm doing here. Don't shift, wherever you are is fine. Your hands somewhere on your feet. Now, this is ever so gentle. Pushing, just gently pushing your shins open if your elbows touch. If not, you're actively using your knees to pull them down. If you want to gently, and this is so, so important, gently pull your head forward, you can, or gently scoop forward, you can. Yogi's choice. I like, this just feels better to me. Yeah. And release. You're coming up. And again, windshield wiper time. Oh, hello hips. How we doing? Mine are waking up. All right, we are going right into our dragonfly. So shake out those legs, right? And your dragonfly and my dragonfly are probably pretty different. Baddha Konasana, Sanskrit for, or excuse me, we just did our Baddha Konasana. This is our Konasana, right? Angle pose. So this might be a V. You might have super flexibility and have super, super open hips and have your legs open real wide. Remember, we're going to stay in this one for 4 minutes. So don't crank into it. You can adjust, but just think about this isn't a quick just here and then we're out again. We're going to stay for a little bit. So if you have a ball, you can use that ball for the warm-up part. So you can see how my feet are flexed, right? My shoulders are up, down, and back. And I'm just going to inch those hands forward, and I'm going to point my toes, let my head collapse. Ooh, pretty intense. As you inhale, you're coming up, you're flexing. As you exhale, walking down, you're pointing. Give me 3 more of those. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. Really make it active. Notice where you're feeling it. For me, definitely my hips, definitely my back, behind the legs, hamstrings, right? After at least 5, we're just going to take it side to side. Now, your side to side might be one handprint. It might be all the way up to the inside of the leg. It might be to the outside or a little farther. You pick what stretch feels good, not crazy. Don't feel like you have to match me or anybody else. Slow. If you want a little more tension, those feet are flexed. Remember, this is the warm-up, wake up. Head's hanging. If you're engaging anything, it's those feet. And then we're going to dive right in to settling down. I know some people who their whole belly is on the ground, their head hits the ground. That ain't me. I've got my bolster. So I'm right here, right? And I'm going to collapse and let my feet go and just settle in. I'm setting the timer. You go. Here we go. Should feel like you're just coming in for a landing. Collapse, total surrender. Try and be mindful that your feet don't roll in too much. If that's happening, you might want to take your feet a little closer in if they're really kind of pigeon-toed. Send your breath to those tight spots. The back, the hips. And you can move, you can adjust yourself if you need to. Obviously, I'm talking, I'm checking the time. The key is to try and be as still as possible, but of course, it's normal to move a little bit if you have an itch or something like that. It's totally normal. You're not expected to be frozen. Excuse me. We're past halfway. And if you had your head turned to one side, turn it to the other side just so you're balanced out. If you're on your chin or your forehead like me right now, you can stay right here. Don't worry about turning your head. I just want you balanced out and not getting a neck cramp. Or cursing my name later because your neck's all stiff. Less than a minute to go, doing great. Just breathe, notice, and let go. With each exhale, think of your whole body like a tight fist and it just opening up, unclenching. Or if you want to get really airy-fairy, a flower blooming, just letting go. Take one more, like a big dog sign. Take the props out of the way. One vertebrae at a time. Start to make your way up. Oof, that's when you feel it coming out of the pose more often than not. Shake out those legs. All right, so yin can be like a mini meditation. Your body will learn to go there once you get there, go to that calm state. So we are working our way to everybody's favorite pose, Shavasana. We're going to do about a 3 or 4 minute Shavasana. And feel free, you can pause your camera, your video at any time. All right, we're on our backs, hugging the knees, rocking back and forth. Should feel pretty good on that low back. Right. And then I want you to actually actively wrap your arms around your legs, pull your head like you're going to touch your knees to your eyeballs, point your toes, scrunch up your shoulders to your ears, scrunch up your face, deep cleansing breath here. Excellent. Let the head come back down. We're going to massage the low back, low sacrum. The feet are together, the knees are together, the hands are on top of the knees, and you're just making circles. I think this feels great on my low back. I really like this one. I had one teacher say, you're stirring the cocoa. So whatever visuals work for you, use those. Usually food and animals are my two go-tos. Reverse your circles. All right, now we're going to do butterfly or frog style hip opener circles. So the feet stay together on butterfly if your hips are tighter, right? You bring your knees towards you, open them up, out to the sides, down, back together. Right. And if you're doing froggy, if your hips are a little more open, the feet come open as you're circling. So 5 or 6 in both directions. Remember to reverse. Once you've had enough of those, when you feel balanced out, we're going to take just a quick little twist here. So yogi's choice, right? You can have knees together. You can have a prop supporting your knees as we're going to drop to the left to start. So you're either here, right, supported, right, and your right arm reaches out to the right, head reaches to the right, or if you want a deeper twist, your right leg eagles over your left and you drop. Some people get adjustments on their backs. Or third option, your right knee is hugged in, left leg straight down on the ground, twisting, right? You pick 5 deep breaths. Good. And you'll come out of that twist, back to center. Whatever you did on one side, repeat on the other. So you're either dropping bent knees to the right, right, eagling left on top of the right, or hugging that left knee in, straight right leg down on the ground and twisting. Unwind. Feel free to hug those knees in again, rock it back and forth. Right? We're going into happy baby. Be mindful that your hands are coming to the outer edges of the feet. This works the stronger muscles and protects your shoulders. Your feet are flexed like they're flat on the ceiling, right? I think of those old 70s movies where the walls are coming in on you. All right, you're pulling your knees towards your armpit or the ground, maybe rocking, maybe playful baby, maybe full dragonfly, and then you're collapsing. Total surrender Shavasana. So, lots of options here as well. Straight flat on your back. Feet fall open, palms face up. You can also take a right hand to your heart, left hand to your abs. You can take your feet in God or Goddess pose with the knees open, right? You can have your legs up the wall. We are settling into our Shavasana. You find your Shavasana. Here we go.
Yoga is an internal practice disguised in a physical practice. Be mindful of your thoughts, for they become your words. Be mindful of your words, for they become your actions. Be mindful of your actions, for they become your character. And be mindful of your character, for it becomes your destiny. Here's to you taking care of you. Here's to you and your yoga. Leave your body heavy, but begin to deepen your breath. Begin to bring the tiniest little movements into your physical being. Wiggling fingers and toes, pointing and flexing feet, maybe scrunching up your toes, spreading them out, scrunching up your hands, making tight fists, spreading your fingers out, splitting them out, making circles with hands and feet, working out your wrists and your ankles. Turn your head side to side as a conscious declaration of no to any negativity put in your path. Interlace fingers or not. I like them interlaced, and stretch up overhead while you're on your backs. Maybe point your toes. It's fine to have your shoulders come up this time, like somebody's pulling from either ends, both limbs. And maybe wiggle hips, shimmy torso. Give those knees one final hug. You rock side to side. And let your knees fall to your right. And you're in a right side fetal for at least 3 deep breaths before coming up. Make your way up to your comfortable seated position. Please join me in 3 deep breaths to close. Release any physical aches and pains. Let them go, let them out. Release anything heavy in your heart and mind, anything not serving you. Get rid of it. Let it go. Last one, feel free to om, and you can om to yourself, just in your own head, or joining me. And we're closing with om to seal, center with the group. Om. Tuning your instrument. Backs of thumbs to third eyebrow, honoring your wisdom, your intuition. Backs of thumbs to lips for speaking your truth, your honesty. Backs of thumbs heart center for being in line with your authentic self and knowing that you have the tools to take care of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I recognize the light, the strength, and the big strong spirits in all of you. And I bow and say namaste.
The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Hope you feel better. All stretched out, hydrate like crazy, and have a wonderful day.